So another battery company in Quebec, supported by the government, has gone bankrupt. If you want to know how much money you have spent for electric vehicles, hold on. But before then, please subscribe and donate so you can find out from Dan McTeague exactly how much money has been blown on this. Because it seems to me, especially with Trump coming in, this the green mush, as he calls it, is disappearing. Our government is saying you have to have electric vehicles by 2035. Is all that going to go by the wayside?
Well, look, Canada represents maybe 10% of the production capacity of our current vehicle manufacturing. The other 90% goes to the United States. And guess what? Long before Trump made a decision on tariffs, he said he's getting rid of EV mandates. So there won't be 30, 50, 100% by 2035. It'll be zero.
So without an EV mandate, most people who would not buy an EV are not going to do it at all.
We backed the wrong horse. We put all our eggs in one basket. We put $52 billion of federal, provincial monies committed towards building batteries, assembly plants, EV assembly plants, for which there will no longer be a market, at least in the foreseeable future.
So, I mean, but you're not saying that there's not going to be electric vehicles at all. You're saying that it's going to grow sort of organically without the government saying you have to buy this?
No, the public doesn't want them. Sales for automotive is not strong to begin with since COVID, but it's pretty clear that there's even less demand now. Most recent reports suggest dropping from 15, 18% down to about 10 to 12%. So the Canadian market isn't the market which Canadian manufacturers are interested in, for which we put all of our eggs in one basket with respects to building EVs and batteries. It's the US market that we had access to, which also had a similar mandate under the Biden-Harris administration, and they were pledging to make this 100% by 2040. The fact that that will no longer happen under the Trump administration, at least for the next 4 years, means that there's no market. And yes, you will get 10, 15% of people out there who are going to want to drive it, but that means that 90% of what we produce in this province and what we produce in Canada as far as vehicles are concerned will have no market.
So downtown Vancouver can keep their EVs, downtown Toronto, Montreal can keep them, but people in Saskatoon and Verdun can have their internal combustion engines. So really though, some people are watching this now saying, well, that's just not the way the world is going to be in the future. But we've spent, as you say, over $50 billion.
Correct.
On these plants and batteries, and it's going nowhere.
And we're walking away from them. Not only some of these battery companies, like you mentioned Northvolt, gone bankrupt. Ford has pulled out of Bécancour. Stellantis has said no further, investments in the Windsor plant. We see that the Chrysler Stellantis plant up in Brampton isn't moving. We see that Ford in Oakville has said, yeah, we're going to build something there. It'll be the F-250. It's not going to be an electric vehicle because we're losing 136,000 Canadian dollars on every EV model that we've got so far. So look, when this makes economic sense, I'm sure it will. And when consumers catch up, it will. Until then, we've backed the wrong horse. And of course, as my old friend Jean Chrétien would have said many years ago as my boss, we did not look before we leapt.
Government should stay out of business. Dan McTeague, thanks very much. 3 minutes. To those of you who have subscribed and donated, a heartfelt thank you. You're keeping us on the air. If you're watching and you haven't, please try to do so, because 4 years ago, we started this show because there needed to be independent analysis. Now more than ever, with the Online Harms Act. Once that gets into law, it's been passed once by the House, there are going to be hundreds of bureaucrats censoring the news in Canada, censoring this show. We need to keep it on the air. Thanks for your support.